Tonight on The Goat Show.
Bro, do you have autonomy or not?
Whatever. Thanks, Obama.
I agree. They're pulling shenanigans.
People still say Hitler never died to this day, bro.
You need to be a little bit more sensitive to these aliens. Glorb is their word. I mean, I go as far as if you say fire in a crowded theater.
Yeah, and then one day I was blowing up a Furby.
Welcome to The Goat Show, the show where we celebrate and debate all things great. My name is ZiLLY. I am joined by my co-hosts, Fresh and Deezy. Gentlemen, how you doing? Looking good. Today we're going to talk about the silenced. One particular figure who's been silenced, Mr. Alex Jones of Infowars, and then we're going to talk about the recent UAP congressional hearings that happened this week, the second set of hearings that have happened. And we're going to talk about what we learned from that, from the people who have been keeping their mouths shut for way too long and finally revealing what's going on over there. But before we do, Fresh, what do the people got to do if they want to learn about these UAPs and these NHIs and all that kind of stuff today?
You gotta like, you gotta subscribe, you gotta send it to your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, a fucking alien, and not the illegal kind.
Yeah, well, illegal or legal. I mean, technically, an alien from another universe is illegal, I would say. They don't follow our laws, so they're all legal. All aliens are illegal,
I mean,
unless they're our secret masters.
I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're not from this planet, you maybe don't have to follow the rules until you know them
Nope.
within reason.
Tom Homan's going to come in. He's going to fucking find your ass, and he's going to kick you off the planet.
That's a dangerous thing, because if they don't know our rules and they get here and they decide not to learn them, we might not have a chance to teach them.
I mean, if they assimilate, I'm a little bit more sympathetic.
I want to live in a universe where aliens are walking around with us, and we're like, "What's up, my G? Glorb, how you doing, dog?" You know what I mean? Like, why can't we just be there already?
So you want Star Trek?
No, bro. Like, let's do it. Stop hyping.
Deezy, you need to be a little bit more sensitive to these aliens. Glorb is their word. Okay, it's not for us to say.
You said it with the hard B.
You said it with the hard B, and you gotta be careful about that, man, because they'll come in here and they'll fucking MH370 your ass out of nowhere.
Listen, if you're traveling through the stars, I doubt you're too worried about like words.
Let's discuss that a little later in this show, because I want to talk about someone that probably the aliens, if they came to Earth, would think that person is an alien, because he's such a character for so many years now, and that's none other than Mr. Alex Jones of, well, formerly of, I suppose now, of Infowars.com. So for anybody out there, maybe a total normie, maybe you're a total progressive left person. Maybe you're a total, boomer ass, senior citizen. Maybe you've never heard of the man, Alex Jones, but I highly doubt that. He's probably one of the most famous people on the planet, I have to assume. I mean, he is one of the, I would say, quintessential, he is like one of the OGs of conspiracy theories. It was like him. It was Oliver Stone. It was that other dude. What was his name before him?
William Cooper.
Yes, sir. William Cooper, there's been a couple of these guys, but really Alex Jones, to me, is the GOAT. Would you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
He has somehow been able to stay afloat and maintain and push some of the craziest information out into the public for a very long time. So he's definitely got to be the greatest of all time when it comes to whistleblowing on globalist events. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Alex Jones is definitely, I mean, at least, I don't know, this is my own experience or my own kind of, I first heard about Alex Jones because of my brother, who has been interviewed on the show, my brother Kathan. Way back when so from my understanding, Alex Jones really came into the forefront with Waco. He was in Texas. He was doing his thing, which he's always done, but he was on public access television. So for all you young whippersnappers out there didn't used to be this thing called the internet. If you wanted to communicate to the masses, you either were on, one of the big networks, which took a lot, and there's a lot of censorship, and there's only a certain Overton window of things you could say, or you were on a local public access television station. And depending on where you were, they had different rules, but a lot of places you just booked the time, you got on, you could say whatever you want, and it was only broadcast to a small group of people. So I think he started doing that. And he was, I think a lot of his focus was always on the overreach of government, especially state governments in Texas, because he was Austin, Texas based, from my understanding. When Waco happened, a couple of things kind of came together. One is that I think AM radio, the whole Rush Limbaugh AM radio thing really took off nationwide. So Alex started doing an AM radio show. He started getting syndicated. And because he was in Texas, he was talking about a lot about Waco, and he really built an audience there, I think, at least in Texas. And then he just kind of, just kept doing his thing on AM radio, and people started finding out about him. The internet started coming into being. So he was, I think, one of the first people with Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com to really take all this stuff and put it on the internet. I mean, he's one of the original internet sort of conspiracy guys. So that's how my brother found him, I think. And then I remember very clearly before 9/11 that Alex Jones was talking about how 9/11 was going to happen, and then it happened. So, so that's my history. I don't know. Maybe go to you, Deezy. I mean, what's your first experience hearing about Alex Jones and learning about him?
Probably high school. I would say probably about 15 or 16. I had taken a break off of boxing for football, and so after football season, I didn't have much to do, occupy my time, and I got huge into like conspiracy theories or about that time, and that's when I went down the rabbit hole, and that's when I found William Cooper and Alex Jones. And William Cooper stuff is very interesting too, man. Like,
yeah,
that's what I think that's who hooked me. And then I saw a video of Alex Jones, and I was like, and I did some more research. I've been following pretty much ever since, just seeing what he's doing and paying attention to what he says.
For sure. What about you, Fresh? What's your first experience hearing about Alex Jones?
It'd be like, I guess, like 2 years after the 9/11 shit happened, but was because of 9/11. So like 9/11 was my introduction to conspiracy theories, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it was through Alex Jones that I found that, actually, through an ad on a website called E-Bombs World.
Yes.
Alex Jones used to run ads on E-Bombs World.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then one day I was blowing up a Furby, and
With what? What were you blowing it up?
you put it in the microwave, bro. Like on E-Bombs World, they had a game where you put the Furby in the microwave, and the Alex Jones thing popped up with like 9/11. I believe it was actually the Simpsons poster of 9/11.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And like he was talking about something, but like you couldn't hear it. It was like whatever, you just see him moving. It's like a GIF. And I clicked on it and I went in, and I mean, listen, Mr. Jones, you created this monster, bro. Like that day it changed my whole life. I seen the world through a lens that, once you like, it removed my rose-colored glasses. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think to this day, there's nobody like him. I mean, his delivery. I mean, let's take a step back. Let's say he never did conspiracy stuff. Let's say none of that ever existed. It's just Alex Jones, right? I mean, he is a pro. I mean, on the radio, his voice, the way he talks, he's hilarious. The just he's such a character, but also just I mean, I don't know, true talent, in my opinion, of a broadcasting talent. Like he could have been like a sportscaster or some other person, and been like at the top of his game. It's just that he happened to, go down the conspiracy hole side of things. And that guy, I mean, does like he's done a 3-hour show. I mean, him doing a 3-hour show, like with that voice, he gets at least once a show, he's going to get riled up, which is always hilarious.
Yeah, it's the best. That is literally what I live for.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anybody else that's like him. And I like to think of, so some people love him, some people despise him. And we'll get into the lawsuit in a second. In fact, a lot of people really despise him. They are destroying him as we speak, or trying to. And some people, I think, sit somewhere in the middle. I kind of sit somewhere in the middle where I feel like there's so much bullshit being thrown at us every day, lies and falsehoods from quote unquote the other side, or I would say call it the corporate media, that I don't have a problem with Alex Jones magnifying, dramatizing, kind of doing his thing. I kind of see him as like a Paul Revere type figure. He's the one sounding the bit. I mean, say what you will about the guy, but there's a lot that he said was going to happen, like decades ago, even, and it's happened. I mean, COVID, the whole COVID thing, and maybe just that Alex Jones he was the only guy talking about this kind of crazy stuff. So every whistleblower in the world is going to go to him. And for a time there, I think that he wasn't taken seriously. So like when you look back, everybody kind of laughed at things that he was talking about, or said that he was, paranoid, or that he's an actor or whatever. And I think there is a certain theatricality to what he does on purpose to get you engaged, to get you to care, to get you to want to pay attention, but when you really look at it, I think there's a lot of things that he's called. I mean, just the whole prison planet thing, so I feel like, I don't know, they're trying to neuter him now, but I feel like now we have so many people that are just in the world of, especially with, Trump being president now, I think free speech is going to be hopefully better. I don't want any side censored personally. I think everybody speak their piece, and we all do our own research, and we all figure out, what's real, what's not.
I got a question. Do you think Trump would make the courts relook at that case?
It's a good question. Well, let's talk about the case. So from my understanding, you guys correct me if I've misconstrued something, but Alex Jones has talked about, I mean, how many conspiracies this guy talked about over the years? And that's the other thing that pisses me off. How accurate has this guy been on so much stuff? And then this one little thing, Sandy Hook, and I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to warn you guys right now. We ain't saying nothing about these Sandy Hook parents. All right. They're going to come for you, bro. All right. I don't want to get sued on the ZiLLY show. All right. The ZGC show, or the ZGC, the GOAT show. You know what I'm saying? So there, but I will say there will be a video in the show notes that you can watch about Sandy Hook, and you can decide for yourselves, people, what you think happened there. But assuming that everything's accurate about Sandy Hook and whatever happened there, okay? Alex Jones got sued by the parents of Sandy Hook. They're saying that he made a bunch of accusations. He said that it was fake. He said that they were crisis actors. He said that the kids are still alive. I mean, I don't know if he even said that stuff, though. I don't think that's actually what happened, though. I mean, do you guys know, like, exactly what the story is with?
He did say that the kids are still alive. He did say these things, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that fucking matters. People say Tupac is still alive every day. People say Michael Jackson's still alive every day. Gives a fuck.
I mean, that's a good question. Do you guys believe that you should be able to sue somebody for libel and defamation? Or do you feel that you should be able to say whatever you want, and your reputation, you got to stand on your reputation, and there's no kind of justification for suing somebody for anything that they say?
Bro, I've never seen somebody ever prove without, like, beyond a reasonable doubt, the damages. And the damages are guaranteed to be because of these things, right? So what damages did the Sandy Hook parents suffer because he said it? What, they had to hear it? So fucking what? Cry me a fucking river. I don't care about that. Is there actual, like, monetary damages done? Because then you can sue for monetary value. But if you cannot put a monetary value on it and prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is because of this defamation, then I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And again, it's only for money, not criminally.
People still say Hitler never died to this day, bro. he was in Argentina. Remember that story? That's a fucking huge conspiracy that he never died. His body never recovered, but they recovered the bodies of 2 females.
The brain that they have that was supposed to be Hitler's brain is of a Russian woman.
So by saying something, I mean, the burden of proof is on Alex Jones to prove it, but he's not saying anything. I mean, look, if somebody did something to these people or said something to these people because of what Alex Jones said, then those specific people should be held accountable for their actions. Like if they broke something or harassed them or something like that. But Alex Jones is not standing outside of their house like with a microphone saying your kids never died. Like he's not doing that. He's just using his platform to talk about his opinions. And you could disagree, but you shouldn't be able to sue someone for what they think.
I mean, I agree with you guys. I feel like, to me personally, free speech is free speech.
Absolute. No but. If you say but, it's not free speech.
I mean, I go as far as if you say fire in a crowded theater, that dumbass thing that people say all the time, fine. Like you have to figure out from your own ability and knowledge to look and see, is there a fire in this theater? Is that accurate? I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's so much abuse that happens as a result of defamation and libel. You know what I'm saying? And I can understand on some level, just empathetically, emotionally, okay, you make a false accusation about somebody, it's not true. Like if somebody accused me of something that I wasn't, you know, and a bunch of people started, whatever, messaging me, or, if somebody's willing to, come up to my door or whatever, like what happened to the one who shall not be named recently, who, sprayed somebody with some, what do you call it? Mace. Yeah. Yeah. Um, but I can understand that, and that would be really frustrating. But at the same time, I feel like it's a slippery slope. It's like, okay, you can accuse anybody of anything, and then now you get to sue them. In the case of Alex Jones, I can understand like maybe a million. Okay, a little slap on the wrist.
Not setting bad precedent. This is the problem.
I agree with you. I wouldn't want anything. But let's say we're living in a even in this world that we're living in by the law, okay? Libel's legal, defamation. It's $1 billion? $50 million.
Definitely egregious regardless, for sure. But I mean, even still, it's like to go back to the fire in a crowded theater example, right? That's no longer precedent that's used because that precedent does not protect free speech. So now that is no longer used in favor of precedent that protects speech. So again, like in my opinion, you either have absolute free speech or not. And if you do, and it is a constitutional right, then he has the right to believe in something that is a lie and say it.
Let me ask you this, because as an anarcho objectivist libertarian type, to me, I'm like, speech is not violence.
Absolutely.
You could literally say anything you want. I mean, literally anything.
Bro, do you have autonomy or not? Are you an autonomous being or are you not, bro? Because I either blame you or I blame like if I'm to blame for saying it, then you're not autonomous in anything you do. And then that is where it becomes the slippery slope for me. You want me to think that nobody has a mind of their own.
Well, let me flip the script a little bit though on you guys, because apparently, hot off the presses today, Trump's going to be suing all these, MSNBCs and CNNs and all that kind of stuff, and he's using kind of the same thing, using libel, defamation.
He's notorious for that.
Right.
You don't like that these laws are on the books, that I can use them? Get the fuck rid of them. Until they're gone, I'm going to use them.
Right. Right.
If you're breaking the law according to the law, like, listen, it's not something that I would do, but this is, again, like notoriously Trump. It's what he does. It's the same with the tax code. It's the same with, you know what I mean? He will use the laws and codes to his favor in the midst of changing them.
And there's also an argument to be made that the news is not allowed to broadcast false information to people. And so they are breaking the law by working together to talk about Trump all the time, to put his character down because they don't want him to win the election. Like they're breaking, that's like an election violations. Like there's all kinds of things that they're actually breaking the law, not just saying things about him, but like doing it for a purpose with an intention to hurt his character so that he can't run for office. You see what I mean? Like
I do. I feel like the hardcore kind of libertarian side of me is kind of like reputation's everything. When you don't have libel laws, you don't have defamation laws. And anybody can say anything at any time and hurt your business or hurt your whatever at any time. In a way, it does set a kind of chilling effect in the sense that, okay, like if I'm going to be a businessman or I'm going to be a public figure or I'm going to be in the government or whatever, then I have to create a reputation of someone who is not that person, who justify. It's kind of like when they say Trump's racist or whatever, and then you see these old things they never talks about really about him being honored by the the NAACP and these organizations. I think that it kind of forces, in a way, good behavior with people, because then when somebody does come out and they say something awful about you, you have all these people who are like, no, that's not true at all. This is, I worked with this person, or I've dealt with this person before, or I've seen them in action, and this is not true at all. There's a part of me that feels that that's a good thing, that you would have to, it would really force people to have to, care about their reputation rather than, whatever else. But on the flip side, I do understand, like, it's frustrating if somebody's going to accuse you of something you didn't do. But I feel like if you're going to be able to sue Alex,
It's not illegal to frustrate you.
yeah. I mean, I do feel like if you're going to sue Alex Jones for $1 billion, I'm of two minds. On the one hand, I'm like, I don't think there should be any of those types of laws, but I do kind of agree with you guys that, like, hey, if they're going to sue him for $1 billion for doing this stuff, then fair game. Trump gets to sue, all these MSNBC people for.
If I was Trump, I wouldn't be doing it. That's the other side of it, right? Like, I don't agree with what he's doing. I'm just saying par for the course with him. Like, I'm not surprised. Like, you get what you buy with Trump, right? You know who he is. So, but I don't really agree with it because, again, I don't believe that these types of laws should be on the books.
well, check this out. What if he needs the due process to get all of the extra communication from the news to prove all of the collusion and all of the
Right.
bullshit? That's a lot more beyond his defamation of his character, but like undermining our society and our democracy by spreading misinformation on purpose. Like that is, even though the government legally could do it to us, but whatever. Thanks, Obama.
I think regardless of the morality of these things, I just think that I don't get the $1 billion thing. To me, that really just is lawfare. That's what $1 billion. I mean, there's no way Alex Jones's organization makes $1 billion. There's just no way. If they said $20 million, I might be like, okay, that could be what they make from. I mean, they don't really make any money from broadcasts and all this stuff. I'm sure they've been demonetized and everything. So it's really just the Alex Jones, supplement store in operation. I have to imagine. Really.
And donations and stuff like that.
I don't know. I don't think that that's gonna a couple mil maybe, but I don't think it'll add up to like $1 billion. So I don't know. I don't know where they get that number. It just seems like it's lawfare, and it's just okay. We're gonna make it so high that he has just no choice. He's just gonna be bankrupt. And from my understanding is that they can go after him personally too. I could be wrong about that, but they can go into his personal, like it's him as well, like personally, that they can go after. So
I have a question. So, like, is it the government that is suing him, or is it the Sandy Hook parents?
yeah,
It's them, or it's not like the government on behalf of them?
no. Well, officially, it's the Sandy Hook parents in a class action lawsuit.
Who's their lawyers?
And who are they connected to, and who's facilitating the ability for them to do this? And
Because $1 billion really is egregious, right? Like, how do you come up with that number? Like, because let's just say at 18 years old, I get found guilty for murder, but I didn't commit it, right? Then I go to jail. When I come out, if I get found innocent, even in 25 years, if I come out and I get found innocent, you're going to give me between $3 and $15 million. Okay. So that adult life, my whole fucking life that you took from me, would be worth $15 million. How did you get to this number?
You mean just hypothetically be worth 3 to 15 million? Because there's a lot of guys that come out of jail and they don't get shit.
If you're found innocent and held for that time,
Yeah.
then they would give you this again, I'm actually doing a little bit of research on this right now. And in general, it's been between 3 million and 15 million. And like some of the cases, they were tried at 16 and let out at like 65, and they got like 5 million or 10 million. Right? So how do you get to such an egregious number? How many parents are there?
I mean, maybe we can look that up. I don't know. I know it's like maybe in the teens, the number of kids that were killed there. I know it's one of the worst, school shootings ever.
We're gonna use the most accurate place to find my information, which is Grok.
Indeed, Grok is great, and it has up to date information. If you guys look in the show notes now, for anything we're talking about, I'm doing Grok searches, and you can look it up and read for yourself, which is great. So Grok all the way. ChatGPT, get your work cut out for you. Never go against Elon. That's for sure.
It says that 20 children between 7 and 6 adult staff members. So 26 people.
26 people. So you're saying 15 mil each or whatever?
Yeah, let's say on the high end, 15 mil. Bro, it's 1,000 millions, bro.
But the crime is like, the crime doesn't make sense to me. It's just harassment. Right? The parents said that they got harassed because, they had people stalking them saying that it was bullshit, that their kids didn't die, all that stuff. Okay. Let's just say, whatever. Okay. I got harassed unfairly, or I felt threatened, or I felt endangered. $1 billion? Like, that's like a couple hundred thousand, in my opinion, max. You know what I'm saying? For something like that.
What was the exact total that he has to pay? Is that 1.2 or 1.4 or some shit?
It's $1 billion for one lawsuit, and it's 50 million for another lawsuit from one of the parents individually, which is just. There's also in a way. Okay, so kind of zooming out, in the United States, this is kind of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, having such a litigious society in the United States is kind of what keeps people in check. If you can get sued for shit, a lot of people, they do the right thing, not because they necessarily want to, but because they're afraid of getting sued, like these big corporations and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. On the one hand, I'm like, okay, people act right on some level if they feel like they're going to get a civil lawsuit or something like that. On the other hand, I'm like, these awards from these juries are just absurd. I think it's just revenge. Like, they're frustrated with their lives and they're like let's just fleece them for everything they got. That's what it feels like to me. It doesn't feel reasonable. It doesn't feel.
Give each one of these kids' families 50 million. Fuck this guy. Like, bro, are you fucked? Like, what are we talking about? He didn't kill your kids, bro. Like, it's the other side of it, right? Which I wasn't even really taking into account when I was making this claim earlier. It's like, bro, he didn't kill the kids.
I know.
He just doesn't believe they're dead.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
Yeah. I mean, say what you will, or if it's a bad taste. I know, Elon kept him off X for a while because he didn't like it in poor taste, but $1 billion and shutting down his operation. Like, if I was okay, look, I'm just trying to imagine. I don't have kids. None of us have kids, but I have to imagine if I had a little kid, some crazy thing like this happened, and really something this super tragic. I mean, really, it's awful. If that happened to me, and then somebody out there is like, "Oh, that shit didn't really happen. Your kid's alive or whatever," my goal would be to shame this person. Like, my goal would be to, like, I would go on his show and I'd be like, "You say that shit to my face, motherfucker, that this didn't happen." I would shame him.
I might even knock him out.
I might show
like,
up at
honestly,
Infowars Studios
yeah,
and be like, "Yo, like, let's talk. Like, this
come
is
outside,
bullshit.
bitch.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
come out and say that to my face. Like,
yeah,
let's get the record straight." Like, that would be my intention.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'd rather. I mean, that's what should be happening. I mean, I guess if a lawyer showed up at my doorstep and was like, "Hey, you can get a quick 50 milli out of this thing," I might
This
be
is
like,
the fucking problem.
I
Because
might be like,
likely,
"Man,
brother,
my soul, my heart."
like, brother, you
They
think that they did that? You think that the parents were so pissed off they sued him? No. They were pissed off. They made a post on fucking Facebook, and some predator lawyer was like, come here.
Let's get
I got to
it.
talk
I
to you
mean,
for a second. Let's go get this 50 mil each.
I could understand though the
In
parents might be like,
Connecticut, there's no cap to defamation
oh,
money. So literally, this it happened in the state that Sandy Hook is in, but also they don't have a cap. And
right.
I
So they're
wanted to
probably
bring
full of
up.
predator lawyers.
Right. Just to be clear, though,
So
also I should add the reason he was saying that it was fake or whatever is because they were trying to push gun control legislation, which isn't necessarily. I mean, every time a tragedy like this happens anywhere in the country, you know, they push for gun control legislation. So, I mean, again, I can understand though as a parent if you're so disgusted by this, you're like, you know what, fuck him. Let's destroy this guy. You know, fuck him. So I understand on both sides, kind of. But I just think like, what precedent do you want to send in society? Like anybody can get sued out of existence just for something they say. You know, I mean that goes both ways. I mean that's gonna go, but I think it's already happening with Trump. I think it's
yeah,
he's probably
'cause
gonna use this. Yeah,
so I asked what justified $1 billion, and the 6 things were magnitude of harm, scale of exposure, financial gain, punitive nature, legal precedent, and strategy and testimony. So the thing that's most interesting to me is setting an example. The size of the award was intended to send a strong message regarding the consequences of spreading harmful misinformation, particularly in cases where individuals profit from such lies. So you don't think that the
Wait,
news
you can't
profits
profit
from
from a lie? Is
you don't
that is
think
that
that
a
the
is that a
news
thing?
you don't think that
No,
the
no,
news
no, 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 no,
profits?
no, no. Slow. Hold on. No, I need a serious answer to this fucking question right now, bro.
okay.
Can you not profit from a lie? Are you not allowed to lie and make profit?
I mean, if that's the case, every fucking body who runs an ad on anything is. I mean,
That's it. Shut it
well,
off,
there's
fuck down,
exaggerating, and then there's fraud and lying. I would say
brother.
if you
He's
say a
not a
product can
fuck.
do something and it's completely not true, then I think there's a precedent for fraud. You know, maybe. I mean, depending on it's one thing to say this product is the greatest product of all time. It's another thing to say this product will do something that it does not do, and you knew it didn't do it. So I don't know. That again, we're getting there. I think
I
there's a
mean,
line somewhere.
I probably have 7 products next to me that I've bought that are for a thing that they don't work at, bro. Like
So
I
afterward,
this type of shit every day.
after this, I asked, can the news now be held responsible for misinformation? And it did say for defamation to be actionable, the information must be false, published, and cause harm or injury to someone's reputation. Public figures must also prove actual malice, that the statement was made with knowledge that it was false or with reckless disregard of whether it was false or not.
So
What
how
if
do
Okay,
they
he
so that
prove
didn't know?
Alex didn't know? Yeah, how did
Yeah,
they prove that
exactly.
Alex knew that, bro?
And
I mean, I guess
that
you
was
have to
from
look at the
case
trial.
law, New York. That was case law, New York Times versus Sullivan. Probably because New York Times got sued, and they're like, "We didn't know it wasn't true," and so. But
Yeah, I guess that's what the trial was for with Alex. It was trying to figure out whether or not he knew prior that it was actually false, and then went with it anyway. I don't know. I didn't follow the trial that closely, so I can't say. I can't say whether or not he purposefully. But still, I still think, as ugly as it is, you're allowed to lie. Free speech protects lying. It's not morally right, but I'm just
not for
saying,
us.
like, you know, free speech protects lying. Free speech is free speech. It's up to you to use your thinking brain and figure out
Bro,
what's real
speech
or
is
what's
too
not.
murky, bro. It's too murky to prosecute. Because how the fuck do you prove that? Even like, bro, you understand that you could have taken him to the morgue and shown him the bodies, and then he could have left and in his head been like, that was fake. And he doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe it. So now what? He has to believe it because you showed him or you said it to him?
Right,
Who the fuck are you, bro? How do
right,
you prove that he knew? You cannot. Because you can't
right,
prove what he accepted as fact.
right. Interesting. Yeah, that's fair.
It's
I
too
mean, somebody
murky.
we have Flat Earth Dave on here. All right, if they prove the world is round, they do that thing. Or can we get sued for having Flat Earth Dave on? I don't know. I mean, we didn't necessarily go one way or the other, kind of. But I'm like, it's like, I don't know. It's too murky, man. If it's too murky, my opinion is go for the black and white. Set a strong precedent. Look, free speech is fucking free speech. All right. And that's it. You don't get to sue anybody. You got to work on your reputation. Listen, America, people, goats, you got to work on your reputation. You can't be out here philandering. You can't be out here smoking meth, wrecking cars. Okay. You can't be doing that shit. You got to work on your reputation for your entire life. So when you're 80 years old,
you're not allowed to get head from your staff in the White House. You really got to work.
Not allowed to do it. Can't do it.
Bro,
Can't
that
be
bitch
getting...
has fucking Stockholm syndrome too. Monica Lewinsky. Then she's like, guys, vote for Kamala. Like, you're not anti-government yet?
Yeah.
Like, what, bro? What's it gonna take?
Well, some suggest that maybe she is pro-government.
Oh, she's
a
definitely
part of some government thing. But again, I don't want no defamation suits out there. All right, I'm saying what other people said. I don't know if it's true or not. Nothing we say in this show,
it's all satire.
It's all satire.
For entertainment purposes only.
For entertainment purposes only. We got to add
ZiLLYs. Yeah, the views and expressions of these ZiLLYs do not reflect on the Goat Show or Zillionaire Goat Club Entertainment.
Yeah, we need to add that to every show so that way we can't get sued. All right, well, moving on from this, I still think Alex Jones is the GOAT. He may have slipped up one time. He's paying for it. All right, let's move on. All right, I don't think he's a bad dude. All right, he's learning his lesson. How about that? Regardless of what you think about it. One thing I do want to ask you guys is, what are your favorite AJ moments? What do you think are his top moments? Or each of I think each of us should give one moment that is our favorite Alex Jones moment. Let's start with you, Fresh. What is your favorite Alex Jones moment of all time?
Predicting 9/11, because it's my first experience with him, and it's like every time I see it, it's like the first time. I feel like a little kid. I'm watching it and I'm hanging on every word, and I think that's just his greatest moment.
Definitely. I mean, it's we'll put it in the show notes, but yeah, I mean, he called it September. He called it. What about before September? What about you, Deezy? What's your favorite number one Alex Jones moment?
It's got to be because of timing now, but it's because of what's been revealed in scientific studies. But when he's talking about atrazine and turning the frogs gay, that still is probably one of his most viral moments. And then now literally reports about atrazine and water supplies turning frogs gay. And
actually, in the episode we have coming on Friday, you can learn a little bit more about this too.
Yeah, I mean, as of this recording, they just, and I do want to get to Trump's picks in another episode. I think once it's all said and done, we should definitely do a deep dive on that. But he just added Robert Kennedy Jr. to, made him the head of Health and Human Services. And dudes were making fun of Alex Jones for years about the gay frogs. They turned the freaking frogs gay. And they made songs, remixes. I mean, it was a phenomenon. I think that one moment, Deezy, is like what really. I mean, he was already big, but in terms of popular culture, I mean, that took him to like just a next level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then to years later be justified by actual scientific publishing that's true is just another example of when he's been right.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I mean, RFK Jr. talked about it, and now it looks like he's trying to get all that stuff out of the water supply. So, yeah, I think turning the frogs gay, by far, that may be the number one. My number one, which isn't maybe something as well known, but there's a couple of accounts on Instagram that have this, and I pretty much wake up to it every day when I get up in the morning, is his speech about Magellan and Bieber. If you know it, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. There's never a time that I listen to that speech and I do not get fucking pumped. If I'm feeling down, I don't want to do shit. I think the world's fucked. I don't want to build anything. I don't want to get out there. I can rely on that Magellan speech And maybe we'll, I don't know, it's fresh. Maybe we'll sneak it in here in the show. But that speech is unbelievable, and it's like it just gets me so pumped. It like makes me want to go out and conquer whatever it is I got to do in the day. So that for me personally, and it's one of those things where it's like, sure, is he being Alex Jones as fuck? Yes. Is he taking it to the max? Yes. Is it a wild rant? Yes. Which is why it's great. But but the other thing about Alex Jones, I think that people don't really see unless you really watch his shows and stuff, is I really do think the guy has a big heart. He can be absurd. He can lean into, crazy stuff. But I think there's a part, especially I think as he's gotten older and especially lately, um, I find that like some of those things that you watch, like he really does tell amazing, good moral messaging to people, maybe on a personal level, beyond all the conspiracy shit. Like just how to be as a human being, how to act as a human being, how to carry yourself, how not to like give in and compromise with at times with evil, like what it means to be a man, or what it means to be a human, like those types of things. I actually think that he sneaks that in kind of like every so often.
He's fit Grandpa Alex now.
That's true, man. He getting swole, bro. I don't know what he's doing. He find that super male vitality. Probably he started taking it taking it for real now. He's losing some weight, and he's looking fit. I think he's gonna turn to a freaking house. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I just there's that side of him too that I like. And then I'm gonna bring up one more thing that, again, you shall not speak of such incidents. But the Ye interview, say what you will about it. All right, he said, I mean, Ye definitely says some crazy stuff, but there's something about that interview that, and that's the one where Alex finally, somebody got the better of him finally, in terms of like what lines he wasn't willing to cross. But I'm gonna say this about that interview. This is what I like most about it. Take out the content, take out whatever, take out the the net and yoo-hoo, take all that stuff out. The aesthetics of that moment, like what Ye's wearing, with the thing, Alex, like I don't know. There's just something about aesthetically that moment that is iconic for all. I don't know. It's we might get some shit for that, but I'm just saying there's something about it. You can't deny it.
It's a great moment, bro. Come on. Like,
It's a fire.
yeah, like you don't have to agree with something for the moment to still be fire. Like,
It's an iconic moment. Every time I see I see on X, I'll just see screenshots, of that moment, and I'm just like, golly, like just I don't know what it is, but just that's I guess that's a credit to Yates, that
ski mask yay is a different type of yay, bro.
with like this NASCAR jacket looking thing. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Like,
Ski mask Kanye, bro. That guy's a monster.
sorry, Jews, sorry, Jewish friends. I'm just saying, it's a fire fit. He had a fire fit. AJ had a fire fit too. He was like lumberjack Alex. You got the one who shall not be named. He had a fire fit. I'm just saying, it's a fire iconic moment. Okay, just accept it. You know what I'm saying? APAC, don't come after us. Just visually, aesthetically, let's just leave it at that. So another moment, another Alex Jones moment. And now the show's gonna get canceled off YouTube. So anyway, continuing on. Alex Jones is out of a job now. Well, okay. Well, let's talk about this just real quick. It's looking like Infowars, they won the lawsuit, so it's going for an auction. As of today, the rumor was that the Onion bought Infowars, but they did it in a way where, or the way they handled the auction was supposed to be it goes to the highest bidder, and it's the highest bidder with the actual cash. It wasn't debt cash; it was the actual cash. So, from what I understand, the Onion bid the highest, but they did it with leverage money from the lawsuit. So they didn't have $1 billion to buy Infowars. They did some kind of scheme where, we have this, we're leveraging the
So we'll take it and he's gonna pay it.
yeah, some shit like that. Anyway, the judge in Texas said nope. So as of now, Infowars has not officially been sold, from what I understand.
Okay, but question: what are they buying? Like, does Alex have to work for them?
No.
Because what is Infowars without him?
It's the name and equipment, whatever equipment there is, which is probably not a lot.
Yeah. The studio, property, whatever, is what I imagine. Yeah. Yeah, stupid. Why would you? I mean, I guess you could do an onion version of Infowars and have it be stupid. There's been a lot of people over the years who've tried to do a parody of Alex Jones and tried to, do their version of Infowars, and it's never really worked. From what you never hear about it. Like nobody. He's such a one of a kind guy. It's very difficult to really.
Bro, it's just lawfare. This is just lawfare. You'll never be able to convince me it's not just lawfare. Because again, what the fuck? Infowars not worth $1 billion without Alex.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make Alex Jones your slave. You got to enslave Alex.
Yeah, like I would give $1 billion for Infowars if I got Alex Jones.
Right.
Fuck, you could take Infowars, just give me Alex Jones.
Right.
We'll make that Billy back in a couple years. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's Alex Jones.
yeah,
Infowars is Alex Jones. There's no other way to
exactly.
look at it. Yeah. So,
So you're just gonna make a new name.
or maybe they just want to own that property. I don't know. I don't even know if they own property, if they're just renting facilities or whatever. So, um, with that said, regardless of what happens in Infowars, Alex is a free agent now, and some have been suggesting that Trump, get this, Trump should make him press secretary. What do you think, Deezy? How do you feel about Alex Jones being motherfucking press secretary?
Bro, Elon said the most entertaining outcome is the most likely, and that so far has been what's going on. So that would probably be the most entertaining outcome. Let's hope that it's the most likely. That'd be hilarious.
I'm for it, 100%.
Can you imagine like CNN trying to send him fielding a question from CNN?
And here's the thing, though. People think that, and you tell me if you agree, Fresh. People think that Alex Jones is just a wild man. He's just a wild man saying wild stuff, right? That's not true. If you watch Infowars, he's got the people he has around him, they give him stacks of articles and all kinds of shit. And whenever he says something that someone thinks is wild, you will see the classic overhead shot of him with his hands holding the paper document and it's literally a printout of the website where that article has been run every single time. So when people say, "Oh, if he was press secretary, it'd just be this wild, kind of cartoon show." I mean, sure, on some level, it's going to be super entertaining, but he's not going to show up and just wing it. He's going to have literally stacks of things. He's going to pull it up and show you, like, this is what's going on. I mean, he would be actually, in my opinion, an excellent press secretary. He would be prepared, and then he would fuck you up if you bring up anything that's not accurate. He would have the paperwork right there, ready to go at you. You know what I'm saying?
He would probably show up with a stack that's all got like labels. Imagine they use AI to be like IRL fact checking press secretary meetings. So when someone asks a question, then the AI automatically gives like a real unbiased factual response that can back up whatever the press secretary is saying too, like.
Well, now that Grok is pulling from real-time information, I mean, I don't see why not.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
are they valuing his company at $1 billion or not? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, is he running $1 billion company or not? Because it's him and like 5 dudes. So if him and 5 dudes are running $1 billion company, then he's probably qualified to be press secretary, bro.
Yeah.
Just saying. Like, you know what I mean? Did the last
Yeah.
press secretary have $1 billion press company?
I mean, I don't think so.
Started from his fucking own basement? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Alex Jones, I think we should toast him. I think he's the GOAT. I think he deserves a toast. Listen, man, you deserve the toast. You've been fighting the good fight for many, many years now, revealing, the alternative side of the news. You're a pioneer. We toast you on the GOAT show. Cheers to the GOAT, Alex Jones. Hopefully he keeps doing what he's doing. I think he will. I mean, what else is he going to do? Yeah, we'd love to have you on, Alex. If you ever had an opportunity, we'd love to have you on the Goat Show.
Hey, I mean, if you don't take the press secretary thing, I mean, there is a slot for a fourth. Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex, if you would like to join, man, we could start our own Infowars. We'll call it something.
Yo,
We'll call the network something else.
fuck everything up. Put Alex in charge of the FBI. Or the CIA, bro. Oh
Man.
my God.
You know what's funny though is like I think he could actually run that shit hard. I think he's the type of personality he would run that shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's not the problem. That's not the problem with putting him in charge of that shit. The problem is in 4 years or 8 years when you guys got to get rid of him, and he's like, "Yo, listen, aliens are real. Bigfoot's in San Francisco. Like, fucking, you know what I'm trying to say?" Starts naming all the fucking things, bro. Because you'd have to kill him after those 4 years, or he would tell everything.
Okay,
Or he would tell everything in those 4 years. He'd be like, "Listen, the people deserve to know," because that's the kind of guy he is, right? We know this.
Right.
And then Trump would be like, "Listen, if this is what my people want," you know what I mean? If he's like, "Yeah, everybody wants the truth." All right.
I
There you
mean,
go.
anything can happen in this administration. We'll see. There's still, as of this recording, there's still a few slots to be filled. FBI being one of them. I'm kind of curious. They're saying different people, but we'll talk about that when everything's confirmed. We'll do a deep dive on all these different characters. But you did bring up something fresh. You brought up aliens, UAPs, MHIs. I don't know what that's, or NHIs, non-human something or others.
Non-human intelligence. There was another one. I wrote it down in my notes because it was so weird to me. No, TUOs, which is technology of unknown origin. Bruh.
That's a lot of 3-letter.
What's the deal with 3-letter acronyms?
They're just reclassifying it probably to hide it under more layers of obscure. It used to be fucking UFO and UAP. Now, whatever, just anything that they could call it something different. I don't know.
I agree. They're pulling shenanigans.
Well, they just want to, when they pull this stuff out of the aircraft, they want to be like, okay, so now it's not part of the UFO. This is a non-human intelligence, or this is a technology of unknown origin, so then you can't link it back to the UFO.
Right.
And like, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, for anybody who may be watching this, later in the future, we had a second congressional UAP, I guess, what do you call it? Kind of not conference, but hearing. We had a set of hearings. So the first one happened a couple months ago. That's where Grush came out and basically told everybody, "Yep, we got non-biologics up in here, aka aliens. We got, or demons or whatever. I don't know. What do you think? Do you guys think they're aliens or demons, or because Tucker Carlson be saying these are interdimensional beings?
That's what I think.
You think, because like at the hearing, what's his name, Elizondo, who was one of the dudes, he's saying no, they're definitely aliens that we found. So and we had Bill on, he's saying it's aliens. So I don't know.
And he said Lazar was right.
He said Lazar was right. Yeah. Definitely check out. We'll put it in the show notes. Check out that Bill Corbett interview we did. He's talking about veteran fathers and that type of stuff. But he definitely, he had special access to programs when he was in the Air Force. So definitely check that out.
Definitely dabbles in the unknown.
That's right. So I don't know, Deezy, what do you think? Are they demons? Are they extraterrestrial beings, interdimensional beings?
I've thought about it a lot, and it's hard to say. The first written story would go to religious texts, and that would probably be like fallen angel technology, unless you go further to like the Anunnaki and like star seeding. Then we start entering this different realm of thought. And are they multi-dimensional? Can they go in and out of our dimension? You know what I mean? Are they even beings of like physical?
They can be.
Or are they digital now?
They can be, I think.
Are they us from the future? Are they humans from the future? That's also a great
Right, that's a possibility.
thought. Like we just slowly evolved over time to look like the Greys, and like
I mean, I think that's a possibility. 10,000 years from now, and maybe they are, because one of the things, the technology of unknown origin, and I think Representative Paulina, by the way, I mean, I know she's married and all that, but god dang, just saying. Yeah, I mean, I think if they're saying that some of these ships have a biological component, and that some of these beings have a technological component potentially. So, I mean, it could be that we've evolved, we've merged with machines, we've gained enlightenment. That's why we don't want to attack anybody or do anything crazy. We just want to zip around through time and space and look at stuff and, oh, that's kind of cool, and then move on to the next thing. I don't know. I mean, I could see it being future humans 10,000, 100,000 years from now that are, that's why they're humanoid, but they're kind of melded in machines.
Let's go back to the 2000s when Barron Trump Sr. was the fucking, when he was in college and he was helping great grandpa Trump. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess based on the hearing itself and what people were saying, the people that were there. So there was, I think there's some Pentagon officials who they did not experience talking to the aliens, but they have knowledge of people who did. So that's always kind of, are they bullshitting? Is that for real? But one thing that was pretty clear is Schellenberger, who was a journalist, and he's the guy that did the Twitter files originally, and exposed that the FBI, CIA, three-letter agencies had their fingers all up in Twitter, telling Twitter what they cannot say. He wrote a 200-page document, submitted it, and he talked about immaculate constellation, which basically, yeah, it's like,
oh man, now we're on a list.
what do you mean? We're on a list.
You can't even say that word.
Immaculate constellation?
Yeah, you can't say that.
Disclosure?
That's the first thing that they say, that each person in the hearing says before they say immaculate constellation. They're like, well, I'm all like, Bolbert's like, well, I'm already on all the lists, so might as well whatever. And then she goes, the earth is flat, birds are government drones. Like she fucking just said,
She did. Okay. I think she was joking about a lot of that stuff.
it was all things that weren't true, right? Because she said the earth is flat, birds are government drones. I don't know what the other one was, but then she said, and Biden got 81 million votes. So obviously she thinks all four of those things are fake.
Right. I mean, she did ask the question, not to go too far tangent, but she did ask point blank. She's like, is there human alien hybrids happening? And they all denied it. They said that wasn't the case, which I find hard to believe.
What if we can't?
What do you mean?
What if we can't hybrid?
Oh.
It's not viable.
I see. Okay, that would make sense. But I'm just saying, if I was an alien, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm an alien, I go to another planet. Okay, let's say I'm a human. I go to another planet. I want to see if I can fuck these things and make new humans. I'm just saying. That's just me. May call me crazy, but I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a try.
Okay, but like, what if the way we have sex is not the way they have sex? So, like, for example, I seen this cartoon, and it's like an alien lands on Earth and comes up to a guy and shakes his hand, and he's shaking his hand, and as he's shaking the hand, the alien starts making faces and comes through the hand, right? And it's like, so what? Like, what if what if shaking hands is how they procreate? Not fucking. So what? Are you gonna go around fucking alien hands or what?
Deezy, you tell me. You show up on fucking Nebulon and there's some green bitches running around. You ain't married. Let's just hypothetically you ain't married or whatever. I don't even think it's cheating, to be honest with you.
Fuck, light years away.
You know, these green big booty alien bitches, you get on there and you're not gonna try and experiment with hybrids.
if these things are able to travel light speed, then they've definitely figured out how to fuck around with genetics. So I'm sure that if they do exist and they're human and they even have that curiosity at all, they're not human, but like humanoid, then yeah, it's possible. You know that if we have some kind of alien, humans are doing every kind of test possible. So if we actually collected an alien and we're able to somehow mix their DNA, then they're doing some shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, we're not necessarily Captain Kirk, doing his thing, being a gentleman of the universe. But in terms of genetic modification, stuff like that, I mean, I think that's fair game. I don't think that's. I would definitely do that as an alien. I'd be like messing around, looking at the if I had the capability, I'd be like, what if I take this thing and a couple of that thing? Like, what kind of thing would I make? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Bro, I would do that as a human to other humans. What are you talking about right now? Like, the fuck?
Yo, it's literally the plot of Avatar.
Brother, it's literally eugenics. Like,
Eugenics.
like, and I'm all for it. Eugenics, and then have a crazy super army.
Oh
You
my
have the
gosh.
craziest
Oh
sports. You have the
man.
craziest. Hey man, whatever, bro.
Oh, this show's getting. I thought talking about Voldemort was going to get canceled. This show.
It's just listen, in my version of eugenics, bro, no race is superior than the other, right? It's not about a race. I'm picking traits from everybody, from the top of everybody. It's not to do a race.
You know what they call that biohacking?
I mean, you're right, Deezy. Biohacking is a thing. I mean, I don't want to necessarily get into debate about which eugenics are okay or which are not, particularly in my opinion. But anyway, how do we even get on this topic? Okay, whatever. Bobert. Yeah. There's so many things that they talked about, but I think here are the things that all the witnesses or all these people confirmed. Okay. Uh, yes, there are retrieval programs. The U.S. government has retrieved, whatever these. I'm just UFOs, man. But fuck this, like technology of another or just UFOs. Whatever, fuck it. We got alien spacecraft, okay, and we've been reverse engineering it, and we've been hiding it from the public, and so I take that as we got 0 point energy, and these bastards have been keeping it from the human race. Um, Although on some level I agree. Like, hey, our enemies might take that and do bad things. Because if you can send a freaking rocket in a split second, um, that could be a danger. But I'm just like, every technology is going to have dangers. It doesn't matter what you do. There's always, I mean, everything's going to have danger in one way. But what about all the upside? And you can't build defensive technologies that can stop that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to stop hiding this shit. I want this 0 point energy, no gas prices ever. Travel across the universe. You know what I'm saying?
Or people are just getting really dumb. The people in power are just really dumb. They've all lived next to like army bases and shit for too long that they've got like a little bit of retardation, and now they're just believing the things that were posted in obscure newspapers back when like we didn't know where Area 51 was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could just be believing the hype now. It's like, because it almost seems too on the button. Like, it's all the conspiracies are
Wait. So let me understand. You're saying that you think that there's a lot of attention to be gained from this, and so they could all just be bullshit.
Abso-fucking-lutely. They're like, "Hey, remember those news articles that whatever, like, let's say they're true, like, cause this." And again, it's a very like look over here thing. I feel like look over here about this UFO shit while we like try to pop fucking Trump over here or something. You know what I mean? Like,
There's also Operation Bluebeam and that whole big agenda of making everybody unite to fight a common enemy, which is aliens.
this could be the pre-blue beam where like let's see if we can unite them without having to cause a intergalactic war, right? Like and then if people don't do that, because I mean, what better time to test this? I don't know if there's a more polarized time in history. People fucking, you know what I mean? Like cutting off their parents and divorcing people and whatever because of political views. Like, it's crazy. So this would be the perfect time to test. Like, hey, do we have to go to Project Bluebeam, or maybe we could just like scare them without revealing our hand yet?
I mean, if anybody's read the comic book Watchmen, and sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't read it or watched the movie. But the concept of that comic book is that there's this tension between, it's set in an alternate universe of the 1980s. One where there's superheroes. There's a dude named Dr. Manhattan. He's got incredible powers. He wins the Vietnam War for us. Nixon is still president, whatever. But at the end of the comic book, basically, there is a fake alien that appears in New York City that destroys. It's kind of like 9/11. And as a result of that, Russia puts down its nuclear arms and America puts down our nuclear arms. And now the world is seeking to be united, which it could happen. I mean, because we have holograms. That's real. Tupac was a hologram. We have hologram capabilities. China's been showing that. We have drone capabilities. We have all kinds of technology now where you could put stuff in the sky. We probably have flying saucers. I'm not saying we don't have them. The question is, are they alien or are they things that
Well, what they were saying in the hearing is that we have things like that can move at like 18G, 20G, and then it starts falling apart. But the things that we have video footage of is moving at like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000G, and then like this way 2,000G, and then on the drop of a dime back the other way, and then up, and then down, and then like, bro, that to me is even if it's human, it's like it's future tech that they're testing and whatever. I'm not convinced of aliens just because they say it. In fact, I'm less convinced every time they hold a hearing because I just don't trust the government. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think that it's likely us here, not like us from the future or us whatever. Like
something Brett Weinstein talks a lot about is the idea that there was a certain vein of physics that was happening in the after post World War II 50s and 60s, early 60s, that was in the realm of, and again, I'm not a physicist and I may be botching this completely, but he was talking about that there was a certain vein of physics that was actually like physics, like actual, in what we can observe, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a dividing point, I think, between that and theoretical physics, which is like this quantum shit and all this kind of other stuff. And one theory that he's kind of put forward is that was done on purpose, that this stuff was so dangerous after the nuclear bombs and all that kind of shit that all went underground, and this quantum stuff is just sort of floating around the university system and just leading people on a thing that doesn't really do anything.
yeah, it's the wild goose chase, right? Like string theory, all this shit, quantum physics, all this shit, because they're all just theories, right? But you can't tell me that like all that we know of physics we learned up until we started doing theoretical physics. We learned everything about the world. We don't need to do nothing. They're not doing no more research.
Right. And let's say there was, a crash in Roswell and we looked at that stuff. I mean, they want to tell you that we're idiots, but not really. I think humans given 100 years or whatever, or not, like 80 years. It's like, oh, and the first one they found, actually, this is what Grush said, it was in the 1920s or 10s or something. They found one of these crafts. So I don't know.
And that's that we know of, but like there's things even like on in like Egyptian hieroglyphics that point to aliens. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things in Sumerian texts and hieroglyphics and shit like that that show UFOs and astronauts. And I mean, shit, you could even interpret a lot of these creation stories as aliens.
I mean, all that mythology.
Right. Especially if you think about uh what the mind of the person living at that time was. They never watched Terminator or Independence Day or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they just lived as a pretty simple life. And then you have like this big thing coming out of the sky. Absolutely, it's God's. And how do you even like? They might not have even been able to speak verbally, so it may be speaking in their mind, just showing them shit. You know what I'm trying to say? So of course it's God.
Right. I mean, so it could be psychedelics that they took and stuff like that. Who knows?
The Joe Rogan thing where it's like it's a guided mushroom trip. The Bible is a guided mushroom trip is crazy.
Well, listen, there's been a lot of people who have done DMT, and they say they have interdimensional experiences. They meet these gnomes, these intergalactic gnomes or whatever.
Mech elves.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I've had an experience myself.
Oh, wow, okay. So, I mean, are they real? Are they And I mean, it doesn't mean maybe materially. I don't know. There's too many questions.
Look, I never heard of them before I had my experience. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I couldn't have influenced myself to see what I didn't know. So that's all I can say of the experience. I don't know. I took a psychedelic, bro.
And you don't feel like it's a chemical thing that could just produce the same result in your brain?
In everybody, bro? Like there's only like 2 different types of results and all these people see the same thing. To me it seems a little too far-fetched, like asking me to believe in coincidences.
I sometimes do wonder, if I had an alien encounter, what I would do or try to do. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about that, but
I have.
I imagine they would speak with like telepathy, and you wouldn't have to speak to them. You would just have like a voice in your head that wasn't your normal voice in your head, and you're like, wait a second, the hell? It'd probably be weird.
But I think that we would have to speak out loud
Maybe.
because we don't know how to project our thoughts. It's not that unless they can read them. Because again, I think that that's something that maybe we once knew, but we don't know how to project our thoughts. So we would probably have to talk. But I agree with you. I don't think they would talk to us. But I'm not sure that it would come through as a voice unless they've been studying us for a long time. Like first contact people, how do you think you think it was English? You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe it's like, because language is mathematics essentially. So maybe it's some sort of like, or music, or I don't know, like it's some kind of mathematical thing that's universal. I don't know. I mean, when I look at, I used to be really into this stuff when, back in the day, and a lot of the alien grays, it was like they would stare at you with their eyes. That was like kind of the common thing, and then you would just kind of know what they wanted or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a UFOologist. I'm not someone who's like super super into the UFO thing, but yeah, I don't know. Let me ask you this, and maybe we'll cap off with this. Do we care? I feel like nobody gives a fuck. I mean, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if you were to have a congressional hearing and it was like, it is no longer conjecture based on what we're hearing. This is like, they are telling us spacecraft, we recovered it, aliens are real. I mean, what I mean?
When I was a kid, that was something that you still asked somebody to see, like where they fit on the spectrum of like what they believe in. Like, do you believe in aliens? And now it's like, did you hear about the aliens that the government recovered? Right? Like, you can't. It's people who don't believe in aliens now are like anti-conspiracy theorists.
That's why
I'll be
don't think
honest, I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't give a fuck, and I think most people don't give a fuck. Because now it's like, bro, 20 years ago or 30 years ago, aliens coming to Earth was like, it was scary, bro. We had a nice life, G. We're living a nice life. Everybody was nice, comfortable, happy. This is why Independence Day was a sort of a horror film. You know what I mean? But like now, motherfucker, can I come with you? Can we get out of here? Please, bro. You got some space weed? Like, fuck.
until one of these things appears like publicly and you can go see it, I'm not going to care. You know what I'm saying? I want to see an alien in the congressional hearing. All right, guys, get an alien in there.
Right. Like, hey guys, Glorb here. Like, I'm real. Like,
Yeah, imagine they speak like what's that one alien Paul? Like what's up, bro? Like, what if they're like super like just chill? They like listening to all of our music and stuff. They're secretly like up in space just listening to all of our broadcasts and like learning our languages and figuring shit out. They come out and like, what's good, dude? You're like, the fuck?
what would you do if like an alien landed in your yard and you come outside to see it and the door goes down and goes, "Suh, dude. Such a big fucking fan of the show, man."
I'd lose my shit. I'd be like, take me out of here, bro. Where are we going? I want to go see some.
See?
Take me to
See?
Fresh.
No,
See, bro?
I hit him with the Calendly. I'd be like, yo, let's get you on the
Calendly.
Calendly. Like,
I'd
get
be
on the
like,
show.
stay here.
Live
I'm grabbing the
stream right
camera.
now.
We're doing an episode now. And bro, you would FaceTime me with Glorb and be like, get on your computer. Episode right now. I'm with the aliens. And I'd be like, bro, bet. Like,
I'm like, don't leave.
Nah, bro. No, I'd be like,
you
hang
don't
on,
have 0 point
guys
energy.
in
You
here.
can't come here. Like,
how long would I'd ask Lord? How long would it take, bro, to go pick up Fresh and ZiLLY and then live stream from like?
Oh shit! Yeah.
From
From their spaceship.
from
Cool.
or
No,
space,
like,
like from
on
up
space,
there to
yeah,
show that
from
it's a
space,
fucking
bro.
ball or what? Ooh, bro! Imagine
He's
being
not
able
even
to
hot.
show
20 minutes.
the ball of Earth
I grabbed Joe Rogan
from
too.
space.
You know, grab all the
Right.
people.
No,
Joe
they're not
Rogan.
allowed to. They're not allowed to steal our thunder. This
That's
is a
true.
GOAT show defining moment.
Right.
It's just
That's
us.
right. Sorry, Joe.
I don't know.
This is the first and only time you're gonna ever hear me quote this. They not like us.
I
They
might
not
bring
like us.
Alex Jones. I might bring Alex Jones.
After,
Yeah, but he
we'll throw
has
an
the
after
open
party.
invitation to be the fourth. He can come if he signs a 5-year contract to be the fourth. Otherwise, no. Sorry. I'll let him know it's happening. He can have the drop on that we're going to do it. But unless he signs to be the fourth, he can't come until later. After the episode airs, we'll pick them all up and we'll have a big party.
Yeah,
But
at least an after party, we'll get all the people, and I'll get Elon, and I think Elon will be sad. He'll be like, man, he's like, man, I built these motherfucking rockets on these toothpicks, and you're telling me the whole time we had 0 point energy and all this shit. I think he's gonna be depressed. I think he'll be.
I actually
hurt.
don't think they would want to fuck with him.
What do you mean? Elon.
Elon. Mm-hmm.
But then again, I mean, if he has access to that kind of technology, I'm sure Elon would build some amazing things, regardless. But
Absolutely.
All right, listen. I think we're getting around about that time. I want to, again, I want to toast. I want to toast the everyone who's disclosing. Whatever. It takes. At least you're putting in the time and effort to write these reports. You know what I'm saying? That's 200-page reports. That's a lot of work. So I want to toast them.
The funny thing is, they're probably just running it through AI.
They're using Grok.
Grok's writing the congressional reports.
Yeah. So I want to give a toast to them. Give a toast to the Congress people who are putting this together. I mean, you're organizing something. That's effort.
Yeah, I want to toast
aliens.
Yeah, okay. And Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
Don't probe me, please. I don't want to be probed.
If you knock me out and I can't tell, I don't care, bro. You can get whatever information you need. Just make sure that I don't know you did it, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Fresh
we can't have aliens.
No, I don't. I just don't care, bro. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here, bro. You don't realize how much I don't want to be in Canada.
All right, aliens, you gotta take them with you. That's the thing. I want to give Alex Jones another toast. AJ, feel for your dog. And I want to pour one out. Oh, well, I got nothing to pour one out into, but I want to pour one out for Infowars. Or hopefully not. Hopefully he gets it back.
Yeah. Honestly, let's put that into the universe. Cheers to him hopefully getting it back and the Onion not securing the deal.
Yeah, cheers to that.
And Alex, we'd love to have you on. I just sent you a comment on one of your latest posts on X, so hopefully one day we can get you on and have a chat about the globalist agenda, man.
We'll get all these people on. Just a matter of time. Just a matter of time and effort. All right. Well, with that, gentlemen, great show. Had a lot of fun. Aliens, if you're listening out there, hit us up. We'll get you on the Calendly. We'll get you on the show.
Glorb specifically.
Glorb.
We're trying to get out of here.
Man. Come on, man. Quit fucking around. All right. It's been how long? But with that, Fresh, what do the aliens watching this show need to do?
They got to like. They got to subscribe. They got to send it to their moms, their aunts.
Bloop, bloop, bleep, blop. Bleep, beep, beep, bloop. Bloopity, bloop, bloop, blop.